see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots, and a sexy.
All right, guys.
Watch will be right in the middle of it and he'll pop in.
Yeah, he will. He will. So, guys, Mike may or may not be with us here shortly. We'll see because of the way we're having to record this. We're not entirely certain what's going to happen, but we're having to record on a day we're not used to, at a time we're not used to, and Mike has to go to work. So hopefully he'll pop in a minute. But in the meantime, Rikki and I will sit here and go through an email that we got, and I guess comments too.
Yay!
We did get some comments. Actually, those are shorter.
Nice.
Let me back up. Let me go do the comments because that's easier.
Yeah, go do the small ones first, because then if he pops in, he can be part of the big.
Ooh, we picked up a new subscriber. We're up to 24.
How do you know? Oh, just the number?
Yeah,
okay.
Because the number went up. It's the easier way to go. Okay, so let's go back to episode 17, where we got a couple comments. I think one of them is actually me. Let's look at it. Oh, yeah, much better here. Scrolling.
Remind me what 17 was?
17 was man boobs, don't sneeze inside someone, and Rikki dreams of robot genocide.
Well, I don't dream of it. I just think it's a thing.
Yep. Okay, so the only comment we got on that one, technically, was from Will. And he said, I won't watch The Boys because I hate Jeff Bezos and don't want to give him my money. Glad you enjoy it, though. And I replied...
Oh, you go ahead with your reply.
Yeah, so I did reply to him in this, and I said, hate of others is a poor excuse to deny yourself good things.
That's a true answer. And also, more importantly, Will, I'm going to let you in on a secret. You're probably giving Bezos money anyways.
Yeah.
And more importantly, we're already paying for the show to be there. So technically, you could just watch it.
Yeah. It's not like you're giving him extra money.
He's already been paid. He was paid up front before the show came out and became a hit. That's kind of how that works when you're the big boss.
And realistically, the show's already paid for too. So
yeah, he's not getting paid by the view. He's already been paid.
Yeah, he's not like a YouTuber where he gets paid by the amount of views. Okay, so on the I'll infer your period, a Grey's Anatomy.
Before you go too far.
Yeah.
Before you go too far, Will, if you really do feel that way though, there are certain how shall we put it, bays and inlets full of pirates that can help you watch the show without giving money directly to Bezos. And if you're picking up what I'm putting down, then you can still watch it.
I do not endorse such behavior, but you know,
I don't either. But I've heard stories.
You do you.
Arr.
And I don't have to know about it. All right.
That's it. Plausible deniability.
Plausible deniability, 100%. All right. So on the Grey's Anatomy rant, which I thought was fun, which we were talking about off camera. I should have hit record earlier. All right,
funny that I made Kara listen to that one. She liked it.
Well, yeah. Well, she's on board. Yeah. So Jan Goza, which we will be reading an email from. Mind you, that's not the real name. That's just the family name that they have to comment under. Never mind. Sorry, that's a check your email comment. Sorry. It just says check your email. Sent an email. Then there's Will again. He says, Grey's Anatomy, in my opinion, is a perfect example of a network running a TV show way past its prime. They need to learn to let go. That model of TV died a long time ago, 20 plus episode seasons, and leaving it run till it's just a husk of its former self. Get out of here with that shit. Shoky, I'm sure you understand being a Supernatural fan.
I would agree with you, but Simpsons, South Park.
I would say Simpsons is slightly. I think The Simpsons should have ended at the movie, personally, because honestly, it hasn't been that great since. Like, it's like they built to something and then they just kept going after that build up. And like, I personally
for too long.
Yeah, well, that's true. I personally haven't watched The Simpsons since probably like 2002.
Wow, I haven't watched The Simpsons. Yeah, like regularly, I think I've seen
right after the movie was when I stopped watching it.
Yeah. I've seen intermittent stuff, I think, here and there since then. But yeah, that's about the time I was fully out on them too.
Yeah.
But I have to say that I think the pocket for like comedy shows is around the 9 to 12 year mark.
Yeah.
As long as there's a continuing story arc that plays out. Of course, they should end it when the arc ends.
Or if there's no story.
Last that long, yes.
Because Simpsons doesn't have a story.
Seinfeld doesn't have one either. But I'm talking about like live action comedy shows, not cartoons.
Oh, okay. You mean like sitcoms?
Yeah, like sitcoms.
Yeah.
And dramas should be in a 5 to 8 year pocket. It should never, and that's pushing it.
Yeah.
You can tell everything you need to in a drama in a shorter amount of time than that. Anything past that, you're either retreading old shit
Mhm.
or just making up stupid shit to keep people's eyes on the TV.
I
And
agree.
the sad part is people still watch or it wouldn't still be there. Look, your wife and my wife are perfect examples of why fucking Grey's Anatomy is still around.
Any
This show has
Shondaland show.
been this show hasn't been about medical stuff since like season 4.
Yeah, all they
Now
do,
it's
they just pull in
this,
relevant medical stuff that's currently happening, like COVID or abortion or transgender issues. They just bring them all in there. And
as I told Kara, is when it first started, it was a medical show with some drama parts.
yeah,
Now it's totally a drama show, and they just talk about Tylenol once an episode to still keep it medical. I mean, it's crazy. It's trash.
Make sure you tell Kara if she's still around or when she gets back. Tell her that Amelia is absolutely the worst fucking person on the show.
Tell her yourself. Say it right now. Say it again. Say it
well,
loud.
I am saying it, but I'm saying
it
right now because I wanted to hear her reaction. But either way, Amelia is.
She literally. I just got a ring notification. She just went out the front door.
Okay,
she's heading to the store.
If she comes back in time, even if it's later tonight, I just want to know that because I actually had this discussion with somebody else. Oh, it was yesterday at my cousin's girlfriend's birthday party, which was also half-assed a engagement party because he just got engaged on Saturday. So
congratulations, cousin.
Congrats to Charlie and Lacey. Those are basically the only people we hang out with anymore. They're the only people who invite us to do anything, sadly. But I did want to reply to Will.
Bridges, huh?
I don't know. I didn't burn shit. Well, it doesn't matter here in Texas right now. Anything will just catch fire because it's so damn hot. So either way, I did want to reply to Will because I did say that Supernatural had two to three iffy seasons, and then it came back to form. The ending, the final season was spoiled because like they got 9 or 10 episodes in, and then COVID happened, and then they had to quick wrap up with like partial cast, partial crew. So the ending really got fucked up. They had to rewrite it and make it work with the skeleton crew and cast. And then Will did ask me which two seasons, and I think it was, if I recall correctly, I think it was between 8 and 10, like 8, 9, 10. If those would be the iffiest ones where they're just kind of trying to make shit up, you know, like they extended storylines just to fucking make stuff happen. You know,
see, I know this is a show that you really liked because we've talked about it before, but this is another one that perfectly fits in that thing that we were just talking about earlier. To me, Supernatural, I got out at like season 3 or 4.
Well,
when was it that they fought the devil?
That was season 5 is when they actually beat Lucifer. So
that was when I stopped watching it.
Yeah,
because that made sense. They found the master of evil. They beat him. That's the end of the story. Move along. But they didn't. Then they had to make up all these people that are stronger than Satan, and then these people that have nothing to do with Satan, and then there were this, and then there were that, and I'm like, oh my god.
Well, the lore that they came up with around biblical lore, essentially, and monsters and everything else like that, actually did work out to extend it. But it was when they had to have the same problem of always coming back to the same well when it came to the devil, angels, Castiel, and then Crowley. So we're always dealing with demons all the way through the whole thing. We're always dealing with demons. Yep. So, I mean, like, the problem, I think one of the main problems is had they got rid of Castiel and Crowley in due time, like, instead of holding on to them all the way through the fucking series and just making up shit for them to do, it probably would have evolved a bit more as a show. Like, I still like the show, but I acknowledge that there were some issues. But then, like for instance, Sam has some issues. You know, one of the brothers he's got some major issues where he goes down this dark path, has to be redeemed, figure shit out. And then Dean, several times, because he's more of the bad boy in the first place, since he's the one who technically started everything to let Lucifer out of hell in the first place. So, he goes through a whole lot of that bad boy conversions and stuff like that. And then they start playing with alternate realities and time travel and stuff like that, which they,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
but
I know
give good
people
excuses for it though.
I know people enjoyed it and they found ways to make it make sense, but that's my point is they don't need to make it make sense. The story made sense to end once they beat the big heavy Supernatural. Yeah. From that point forward, they were just forcing people to come back and continue watching it because you like the characters.
Yeah, that's really what it is. It's a character story. Yeah.
Yeah, you get it to something else. You give them their own thing. You do that like this thing they're trying to do now, where they're rebooting the story of the family or whatever, the Winchesters
It's
or
a
whatever it is.
prequel. It's a prequel, but
Yeah,
they
they
already
should
have
have
gone
did
outside of
that.
canon.
Yeah, but outside at season 5, if they'd stopped at Lucifer and then went and did that prequel, it would have made more
Well,
sense. The
well, the
people would
thing
have still
is,
been younger. It would have, it all worked out better
well,
than now. 20 years later, now you want to act like they're 17.
well, no, the thing is that because you're not dealing with Sam and Dean at all, you're dealing with their parents when they were young. So
Gotcha.
completely different people, but they already have played out their relationship and their getting together in their past through the time travel episodes. So they
Jesus.
several times they went back in time to different eras and dealt with their parents. In fact, technically within the timeline, Dean is responsible for their dad buying their family car. Because he was looking at another car and the dude had convinced him to buy that car, and then Dean happened to walk up and he's like, "Nah, this is the kind of car that'll stay with you forever." And he ended up talking him into buying the Impala. So, that's he's canonically part of his parents' past. But then also
Well, at least he didn't fry that shit.
yeah, but like the thing is he also was very self-aware. He's like, Back to the Future rules, do not fall in love with your mom, any of this nonsense. But like I think at one point they actually are so self-aware that like time travel happened, but like they didn't do it on purpose. Like they were drugged through time due to somebody doing something. And are like, time travel? Really? We're doing this again? Like they're that self-aware. Like, it's so fucked up. I mean, there at one point, which was during the Angel Civil War, which was actually a pretty good storyline. They just did some dumb shit with it. Castiel sent his lieutenant to save the Titanic because it would be worth millions of new souls in the future. And then they were harvesting those new souls for energy to become more powerful.
That's kind of fucked up. Keep them alive so that
They make new
descendants
lives just to
become more new
sacrifice
souls.
them, and because
That's fucked up.
yeah, and we actually do get to see the alternate timeline. So Sam and Dean and all that kind of stuff still happens, but they drive a different car. Some other stuff has never happened. Bobby is with somebody else, like instead of just being an old coot. But then it also comes down to the decision once they find out what happened. They're like, wait, if we fix the timeline, then all of this doesn't happen for us. So they have to make the sacrifice of like these good things we have now, or even the fact that we should be dead, not even alive. Do we save all of these lives and restore the timeline, or do we be selfish? So like there's some good stuff written in there. It's a good character study, but when they retread the shit, it's the same kind of stuff that they do with, Grey's Anatomy and things like that, But like we talked about last week with House went out on a high note. Like they didn't drag it out too long. There's maybe
They tried.
They tried.
It got dangerously close.
Yeah, I think it could have gone maybe one extra season, if that, but not much more.
I think they should have gone one less.
I just don't watch the first season if I feel like that. I just skip the first season because that's the one where they did weird color correction.
That's all warming up and everything anyways, yeah.
Yeah, but like literally they shot it with a really strange filter. Like it's very orange and blue. Like it's a very strange filter. The camera work is weird. And like,
a lot of Dutch angles.
A lot of Dutch angles in the first season. There really are. That's not even a joke. But after that, it gets really good. I mean, and it stays good for a long time. And all the episodes that Hugh Laurie actually directed or even wrote, those are some of the best ones because he was nominated for Emmys for those episodes.
Yep.
So, all right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I know people enjoyed it, but still, I think if you could take the nostalgia and how much you enjoyed some of the later seasons, but just look at it if they had stopped at season 5.
Oh, I know, because that was the plan, but that was the original plan. They could have stopped at season 5, but because the fans,
people liked it, the fan making outcry, so much money, and blah fucking blah.
I don't know how you rate it having money other than it just having ratings, like as a normal TV show. So
commercial times.
I guess
like if a show's more popular, they get more money for commercial slots.
I guess that's true. They get higher commercials. They get higher paid commercials.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It costs more to buy into a commercial in there.
Yeah,
like it's just like the Super Bowl.
Yeah, could be.
You're fucking $1 million for what, a 30-second ad? Like, it's crazy.
But as a wise man once said, how much is a stream worth?
I still don't understand that. The commercial thing still drives me crazy. Like I've just tried to think of it just like, let's say Toyota went and spent $1 million to get a Super Bowl ad. I've never watched any car commercial and go, you know what? I need to go get that car. I want that car so bad. Like, I don't get how they recoup that money. Like, I don't understand what the thought process is. Very rarely has it ever happened. Like, usually it's like a fast food joint rolling out something new.
Yeah.
Those will be the things that'll catch my attention. Like,
or
I might try that
Doritos
next time I go
Pepsi.
through it. Yeah, shit like that where it's a different thing. Not just normal. Normal Pepsi commercial pops on. Nothing in my head goes, man, I need some Pepsi. Like, nothing happens. But if you put out some rando thing, it might catch my attention because it's different.
I don't know how.
But other than that, I don't understand how they recoup millions. Like, some of these companies spend hundreds of millions of dollars on advertising.
Yeah,
and they recoup it somehow. I don't get it. It's like the shell game.
I assume that some of it is a lot of backdoor dealings and has to do more with stock and more things like that than it has to do with actual sales when it comes to car commercials. Now, the thing is, there are people who are absolutely susceptible to that advertising. Yeah. So you throw your brand new Cadillac out there that's coming out in 6 months after the Super Bowl, and then, in 6 months you see a massive boom in sales and trade-in value and stuff like that. So, but you got to think it's also not necessarily being shown specifically here. And the fact that now with the digital age, commercials are played on YouTube and all these other places, not just on the Super Bowl itself. So they can shop it everywhere and actually really recoup it, because even though they put it however.
But what I'm saying is I don't get. Think about that.
I don't get how it works.
Hundreds of millions of dollars annually.
It's a status thing, because it's because of the Super Bowl. How many
cars would they have to sell? But how many cars would they have to sell just to recoup that one batch? You see what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy to me. And there's not that many cars being sold because not that many people have are around. Like, the money it would take to recoup all the car commercials put out during a year. It would take more cars per person than there are people available.
Well, the fact that they don't make money on new cars in the first place.
Yep, it's all on the returns and the leases.
It's on leases, it's on used cars, and it's on warranty and repairs. They don't make money on new cars.
In the collecting game, they don't make money on the first run. They make money on the repaints and the reissues, because the first run literally just gets the mold paid off.
Yeah, basically. All right, so let's move on, because we do have a big long
got some
email.
More. Good one, Will. I like that one. Yep. Any more before we get to the big mamma jamma? Any other little ones?
There's a couple small comments just on the cheese is old and moldy and where is the bathroom? Little 5-minute clip, and it's just Sean says, "I know this," and then Jan goes once again saying, "I don't remember that scene, but it has been over 20 years since I have seen it. I believe I saw it in 94, 95, referring to Encino Man." And actually, I have a message from Christine from right after she listened to it. This is the one that
bought our shirt.
Christine, I don't know if Christine has anything. That's Laura. Christine usually has comments and write-ins. So,
I should remember Miss Laura easily. That's my mom's name. So
yep. So Christine did write to me, I think it was on Friday, and it says, podcast. She wrote to me instead of making a comment, which is weird. Encino Man in the bar, and one of your Canadian listeners is in Ontario, Canada, the center of the universe, not in one of the provinces people just fly over and ignore. Have a good night. And then she sent me the actual link to
shots fired, Mike. Fuck you and Alberta.
Well, what's funny is it only shows me the ones that are in Alberta. Like, maybe it's registered under the other, like where it's just not specific enough. But she sent me the link to the actual scene, which was funny. And then we had a brief discussion about other stuff that's unrelated. So that was just us messaging back and forth. Because she's one of my listeners from the Doesn't Have to Make Sense channel. Okay,
that's the Gundam one.
No, that's my music video reaction channel.
Music videos.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So normally that's on Friday nights, so you'd be too busy because of your podcast, so you wouldn't be able to come and hang out. I need to get somebody else to come and hang out on that show, because the wifey won't do it.
Depends on what time you have it at.
I usually start it at 8 and then go till 10.
See, I'm from 9 to 10:30.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. So Jay otherwise known as Jen Goes on YouTube, wrote in a really long email with a whole bunch of stuff. So we'll not only go over a couple of these things, and then whether or not Mike shows up, we're still wondering. All right, so
the way he verbed that, I don't think he's popping in though, man.
I don't know.
He said he's stopping at the store before he goes to work. So
yeah, maybe he meant an actual like store trip, not just popping out to get a ice cream bar or take a dump like we surmised last week. Oh well, you and I will hold up the fort, as it were. So either way, we're either gonna put down what you're we're either gonna pick down.
Sounds like a felony.
We're gonna pick down what you're laying up, and we're gonna hold up the fort.
Pick down what you're laying up, exactly.
Yeah.
I think we just named the show.
Maybe. All right.
Holding up the fort by picking down what you're dropping up.
Picking down what you laid up. Okay, so hey Shoky, Mike, and Ricky, it's Jay. We know it's in the anyway. All right, just another.
Hi Jay. Don't listen to this smartass. Hi Jay. Thanks for writing in, dude.
He knows I'm a smartass. All right, so just another suggestion, Nymea Wifey Edition, and he just left it at that. I assume he's meaning that have us all be replaced with our wives to have discussions. And
my wife is the least nerdiest nerd you'll ever meet.
Yeah, but she has her. But the thing is, like, she does have her things she nerds out about, as we were just discussing earlier with Grey's Anatomy. Your wife and my wife would literally just talk forever.
Harry Potter.
Like our wives would just sit here and talk about Grey's Anatomy and shows like that. Like,
oh God,
so
I'm gonna throw up.
We can make it happen. We can make that happen. But the weird thing, like, so Mike, Ricky, and I know each other from outside of this, and when, so our wives have no clue that the others exist. So it's, we're YouTube /Facebook /Patreon friends, but our wives don't know each other. So it's like, it'd be a little weird to sit down and just completely talk with strangers without us. Now, if they tag along, I could see that happening, and then us leave the room.
We could try that out and see how it works out. Like, just have them, like, I can do it from the computer room and just have it open mic'd and just have her in there.
Yeah, same here. But I know in my case, Miss Shoky is very shy. I've gotten her on 3 streams over 6 years. And
just tell her it's not live, and we get to edit it and take out stuff.
It doesn't have to be on camera. Yeah.
Yeah. If she feels like she said something stupid, we can edit it out. I mean,
I don't think she thinks she thinks she has nothing to add, but then when she and I talk about stuff, she's got plenty to say. So it's like,
dude, how awesome would it be if we sat down and had the wives talk and their periods synchronized over the internet? I'm inferring their periods.
You could infer their periods. That's a callback.
That's a callback, y'all.
Speaking of which, we do have new merch. I wasn't going to plug it yet, but we do actually have new merch listed. The if you wear your own merch, you're a doof shirt is available.
Yes.
And I think I made it a mug, but that doesn't apply to a mug, so I don't know how that works. Maybe I should make an addition if you drink from your own merch.
Or if you use your own merch.
Yeah, I think make it specific per the thing. So it's like, if it's a cup, if you drink.
If any of y'all buy this shirt, I need you to take a picture and send it to us. Yes. Because I want to make fun of Shoky.
Well, see, it only works for us. Because like, if they wear it, yeah, but if they wear it, it doesn't apply to the joke. It's just
still funny to me because I know what the joke is.
That's true. And please buy our stuff. There is men and women stuff. Okay, so now it's just comments, and then he has suggestions and other questions coming up. So we could do a whole. We could probably do our entire show just off this email. I'm going to be honest with you. So
good, run it out. Let's see what we got.
Just in case, I'm going to say, guys, welcome to episode 18. We are finally legal to buy cigarettes in most states, and or vote or join the armed forces. So we can do a lot of things as a podcast now. I know it's an old joke. I know. I don't care. So are we. So I'm Shoky. That's Ricky.
We're old.
Mike is somewhere.
What up?
Mike is somewhere in Canada.
Mike's in Canada land doing something.
Yeah. Or Canadadia, as you said last week.
Canadadia. Yeah, I fucked that all up, man. That Jameson was kicking in.
Yes. Canadadia.
I was listening back going, God, I was an idiot. Canadadia land.
I think we had such good discussions last week that like I couldn't cut anything out for real.
It was hard to cut. Yeah.
Like I only cut that one section.
Were like 5 minutes. It was like 5 and
7 minutes and 5 minutes. Like no hour and a half bonus this week. All right. Okay. So comments here. So he's going back through a few episodes actually on these comments. So
this is still Jay's email.
This is still Jay's email.
Okay. So, when you read the comment, remind me what the episode was about.
I will.
All right.
Oh, that's weird. As we're talking, I guess Google's listening because it just popped up with the recommendation of the I'll infer your period video. Thanks, Google.
Thanks,
It
NSA.
heard me, and it just went to. Okay, so he's going back, I guess, just a couple episodes where he says adaptations view good or bad depends on the director / subject, and I guess that's true because I feel like there are certain directors that can make adaptations like really well done, like Zack Snyder.
I think we touched on that.
We did.
They have a love for the source material. It shows through.
Yeah. Well, you can have a love for it and then still completely fuck it up because you're a shitty director. Like, you can have a great idea, but you're directing. Actually, it could go down to producers too, because producers make a lot more of the creative decisions. So like when it comes to that stuff, is like you can have a love for the source material, but then play too much into your own bullshit and then make a not so great movie or show. Let's see here. Oh, okay. So he goes on. It says, for instance, I think it's U-Bowl or U-Bowl. I can't remember how to say the director's name. Makes terrible video game to movie adaptations. See Far Cry and In the Name of the King. But then
I didn't know they made a Far Cry movie.
They did. It was very, very short-lived. Let's see here. Blood Rain at least was mostly a prequel. I never watched any of these, by the way. Though I thought I heard In the Name of the King was decent, but I guess not. Most people hate the Super Mario movie. Not in this place, they don't. I love the original Super Mario movie. It's campy.
I like it because it's crap.
It's crap. It's crap, and it's great. It is great crap as long as you understand it has nothing to do, technically, with the source material.
Literally just names.
Yeah,
it's just the names.
Like, it's an interesting adaptation and it's fun, but it's not good.
I mean,
it's not good. It's just fun.
Parts. It has good parts.
I'd say it's fun, but it's not good. And it would have been
jump
good.
boots made me mad because they were never in the game, and I thought those things were cool.
I think they introduced the flying boot thing later on, like the green thing you could hop into, and then I think it would make you fly.
Yeah, not the same thing.
But no, I'm just saying they tried to adapt the game to the movies, which I thought was funny. Okay, here. What you got to understand about it, it was a very low budget movie. I think we understood that. In my opinion, it was a fair movie that could have been fixed had they done a part 2. I don't think it would have been fixed, but a part 2 would have been fun because remember Daisy comes back and she's like all armed to the teeth, like, you know, I need your help again, you know?
Judgment Day bullshit.
Judgment Day. Yeah. And like, it was actually kind of interesting, like, but I actually love the idea that it never had a sequel and I don't want it to have one. It's like, nothing is ever going to be good is what I can imagine for the reason she came back and what's going to happen. They're never going to make anything good enough.
The biggest thing that I
because Bob
disliked about
Hoskins
it
is dead.
Well, that's horrible. No, but the biggest thing that I disliked about it, and it's weird because he's one of the better parts of the movie, was Dennis Hopper. And not just him, but the fact they did that whole evolving, de-evolving thing.
Yeah.
Either make him Koopa the fucking dinosaur dragon monster or make him a human, but don't try to do both. That's where it kind of got stupid.
I mean, to be fair, it was also like, what, 1997? Not even? Like maybe 95?
97? Bitch, you better go back earlier. We're talking like 91, 92.
Hold on, let's go look.
Google
Super
it. 90,
Mario.
91, somewhere in there.
93.
This was like, yep, I told you.
Wait, that's the same year as Jurassic Park.
Yep. Now it puts a whole different spin on how crappy those.
Well, now we know where all the money went. Hey, the practical effects were good. The CGI was terrible because it would be, but the practical effects are great. Like the Goomba heads are like amazing puppets. Even that weird Koopa dinosaur thing that pops up later after he de-evolves is also good.
Yeah.
I like the idea like that the mushrooms that were everywhere were actually the king. Like it been turned into fungus.
Spreading himself everywhere. Yeah.
But the gag of the single little Bob-omb wandering until it finally
getting stuck in everything,
and it eventually ends up exactly where it needs to. Like that movie is campy as all get out, and the only person sort of taking it seriously is Mario. Like Luigi's just sort of in awe of everything. He's the like driving force. Like I mean the concept of that movie is actually kind of cool. Like that a special meteor crashed, splitting the world in two, essentially two separate dimensions with parallel evolution, except in one reptiles evolved. So
yeah,
but the fact that they evolved into a humanoid species, like to the point they look like humans, was actually interesting. You know, so they became somehow mammalian. Either way, no, you're right.
It was cool. It was a crap movie
Yeah, it's crap, but
because
it's
of
fun.
its source material. If it's kind of like a lot of movies. If they took away the name, quit trying to force it into this pocket and say it's this, like let's talk about the trash ass show that I love so to hate so much, Halo.
Mhm.
If they had just made that a sci-fi show and kept Master Chief the fuck out of it and not tried to force it into the Halo universe, it's
Yeah.
actually pretty interesting, the stories they were telling.
They could have made it generic aliens, generic
Yep.
super soldiers, and it would have been a
Yep.
decent show, but
It
calling
would
it
have been
Halo.
a decent show.
Yeah.
It forces it to be something else. Making that movie and calling it the Super Mario Brothers forced it to be something it was not. And
Yep.
that's why so many people hate it.
He did bring this up, though. The Max Payne movie was good. At least I think the first one.
No,
Did they make
with
two?
Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah. He said it was good.
One
I
Mark
never
Wahlberg?
seen
it. It was all right.
Well, an
Max Payne
adaptation.
games
An
are-
adaptation is what he's getting at.
Yeah, so he's talking about video game adaptations.
Video game
Most
to
people
movie
hate it.
adaptations. Yeah.
Most people hate it, but I still think the best one was the Assassin's Creed one. I liked it. I love.
I heard bad things. Well, what about Prince of Persia?
No,
with Jake
trash,
Gyllenhaal?
trash, fucking trash.
I say Sonic.
Trash.
Sonic is the best video
Sonic,
game
the new
adaptation.
ones, yes. Now when
Yes.
we're getting up into where we're at now, Sonic is definitely like
It's the best
closest.
adaptation, and it's
Yeah.
not even. It's not technically close, but it does everything
Mhm.
right.
Yes,
Yeah.
the stuff that it changes it to the better instead of to the worse.
Now Sonic 2
Like the
was
only
iffy.
the only thing I didn't like about it was Jim Carrey was a little too Jim Carrey in the first
I'm
one
okay
when he
with it.
wasn't trying to be
Yeah.
full on Dr. Eggman.
Yeah.
But by the second one when he is supposed to be that guy,
Yeah.
he was perfectly Jim Carrey.
But then he's also like the super narcissist. So
Mhm.
that's interesting in its own right. And then he just goes
Yep.
insane while he's on the mushroom planet. The
Yep.
the last tidbit he throws on here was Halo Nightfall was good. I agree. Halo Nightfall was good for a limited
That was
series.
the one with
Luke Cage.
what's his face? Luke Cage. Yeah,
Yeah,
the one
and
that you could only get on the Xbox channel or whatever.
Yeah, it was on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's on. It's
Whatever they
available
call
on
it.
YouTube now. But yeah,
Waypoint.
you're right.
It was on
Oh yeah, you're
Halo
right. You're right. It
Waypoint.
was originally, and then I thought that wasn't
It
a
was-
Machinima
yeah.
series. I don't think.
Yeah.
But
It was
that
Halo
and
Waypoint,
Forward
and
Unto
then it
Dawn.
got leaked.
Forward Unto Dawn was
Yeah.
also good. That was a movie.
That was the animated one though, wasn't it?
No, that was live action. That was the one where it was
Live
cadets. Their
Okay.
training facility got attacked by the Covenant, and then Master Chief came in to save them. And then the
Gotcha.
kid, and both of these things were setups to Halo 5 or
Mhm.
Halo 4, whichever one. Which one was with the guy who was hunting down Chief? Okay, that was Halo 5.
4. Team Osiris.
Yeah. So they were both
Yeah.
setups.
That was 5. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Forward Unto Dawn set up 4, Nightfall set up 5. Because that was Locke.
Yep.
So that was Spartan Locke. So he
Mhm.
wasn't a Spartan yet. He was just a normal soldier there. But the Forward Unto Dawn, actually, the kid who gets through it, spoilers, is Captain Lasky, Captain of the Infinity. So,
Nice.
yeah. So, and his exposure to Master Chief and all that kind of stuff eventually got him to rank all the way up to being captain. So
That's
that
pretty
was
cool.
the setup for that. So
I'm
stuff
gonna have to go
made.
look that one up. I don't think I've ever seen. I
It's
might
on
have seen
YouTube,
that.
I think.
I have to go back and look for it.
Yeah. It's lower budget, but it's still
Mhm.
good. And that's the one where they actually show the hunters. So
Okay.
Chief takes on 2 hunters and by
They show the
himself.
hunters in this show.
Yes, but this was like 2016,
Right.
you know? Earlier, 15.
Gotcha.
Okay,
I'm gonna have to
so
check that out.
yeah.
All
Okay.
right. So that was
That was still
Alright.
that. There's a lot to go.
about it. Okay.
Yeah. So
Now on to the next one.
my top 5 sci-fi shows.
Mhm.
So starting from 5 and going up. Stargate, all.
Mhm.
Now this is going back quite a few.
Yeah, this is like the 3rd or 4th episode I was on.
Yeah, so this is like episode 7, I think, where we did the
Yeah.
top 5. It's our only top 5 we did. We haven't done another one since. So he says Stargate, all of them. Star Trek, all, even Discovery and Picard. Shame on Mike for hating it. Ho, ho.
Oh, shame on you
Ooh.
for liking it.
Well, I haven't seen Picard to know. But some people like it.
I watched the first episode and couldn't make it through.
Yeah. I understand why people don't like it, especially now that they're doing all this weird shit with time travel. And going back to some event in 2024 that causes the future to get fucked up. Specifically an election. Okay, either way, so number 3 would be Firefly. Excellent. Number 2, Battlestar Galactica. He said all, so that's including the past and
the original
current.
and the new one. Okay.
Yep. And this is one I'm not aware of as a series. It says 7 days.
7 days?
Yeah.
I thought that was a movie.
There's a 7th day.
That was the one with Arnold, right?
Yeah.
Maybe
Let me see. Let's see here. Okay, so 7 days movie.
Is he out of Canada? Because they get weird stuff.
I literally don't know.
Yeah, because
I'm looking to see if there's a show. Hold on, 7 days movie. That doesn't look sci-fi, so that ain't it. Maybe it's called some. Oh, that's definitely not.
That's a porn.
7 days series.
Is he talking
right
about?
I'll be damned.
Is he talking about the bare naked ladies?
No, that's 5 days.
1 week since you looked
1 week.
at me.
Yeah. I have never heard of this. I've not heard of this.
I'm saying he might be up in Canada land, and they might have
from 98. Jesus, 66 episodes. I mean,
wow, was on for a minute,
3 seasons. Hold on, Agent Frank Parker of the CIA is cast off. Who is a CIA cast off who is given special assignment by the NSA. He must travel back in time to prevent present-day catastrophes, but he only has 7 days to do it. Frank goes back in time using a time machine the U.S. government built by reverse engineering alien technology. So
it's Time Cop.
I guess. Hold on, let's look at the cast.
Never heard of it. I might have to look that one up, man. Good on you for putting one at us that we hadn't heard of.
It must. I bet it was on NBC, judging by this cast.
Oh, okay. So it was an American show.
Justina Vale Evans, Dr. Olga Vukovic, Jonathan LaPaglia, Frank Parker. He looks familiar. Don Franklin of Sequest fame. Sam Whipple. Haven't seen that guy in a while. Norman Lloyd. And the problem is some of these are modern pictures, so it's really funny. Yeah, it's not a lot.
I'm gonna have to check that one out, man.
Anne Marie Loader. That name sounds familiar.
Give her my loader.
Shut up. Yeah, no, I don't know this show. Like I want to see some of these images. Oh, there's a DVD collection.
It doesn't really sound familiar, so good on him. That'd give us some homework to do. 7 days TV show. All right, get off of that. Do your homework off the air, man.
It sort of looks familiar. I'm just looking at the images. I'm just
gonna start randomly talking about shit that I see since he's reading the internet.
Okay, so let me go through.
I see a tree.
Shut up.
That one over there has.
I'm looking at the email. Shut up. I'm going back. Okay. Okay, so he's got 3 top 5 questions that I think we should hold on to. Let's hold on.
Let's hear them anyways. Give us time to cook on them.
Okay, because there's
so they're top 5 suggestions. Like we should do top 5.
Yes. Okay. So there's top 5 worst game to movie adaptations, which I think we essentially almost went through. So and then top 5 movie to game adaptations. Let's put Goldeneye right at the top. Let's just say that. Top 5 snacks.
First of all, Goldeneye the game was fucking awesome. You watch your dirty whore math.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's number 1. Like
he's saying top. I thought he was saying top worst.
No, he said top 5 movie to game things.
Okay.
The first question was game to movie adaptation. So the piggybacking on the previous conversation, yeah. And then there's top 5 snacks, and it's
the correct answer is double stuffed Oreos.
That's a good one. So okay, and hold on. He added a comment though. This is funny. Mike's will be weird, aka Canadian, and if so, he's not from Canadian land. If he's making fun of Mike for being Canadian, and it says if Ricky says Gator Jerky, mute him for the rest of the podcast.
Oh, this is gonna be a very boring podcast. Gator Jerky.
Damn it. Well, we're not technically doing the top 5 now, so it doesn't count. Okay, so let's hold on to those for when Mike is here.
I've only ever had gator tail bites, and I've had gator tail as an Italian sausage. I don't eat all that weird shit, man.
I think
ironically, the gator tail that I had that was like an Italian sausage, I had in New Orleans. I didn't even have it in Florida.
Yeah, I prefer buffalo jerky. But I've had gator jerky.
I don't really do jerky, man. It hurts my jaw.
Yeah, I do the not quite like the really dried out stuff, but the stuff that's almost more like overcooked bacon.
I do like the Jack Links. Like
I eat those way too often. I'm sure it's gonna be built up in heaven. Yes. I don't. What's the other one? Not Jack Links. The Slim Jims.
Slim Jims?
So I like the different flavored Slim Jims. They had like
I used to like the Tabasco one when I could eat them still.
Yeah, I like the Tabasco ones. There was one, it was shit, what was it called? Not chorizo.
Didn't they have a salt and vinegar one for a while?
If they did, I never saw that one. There's a whole discussion to be had around salt and vinegar things because like
they're all amazing.
They're
good.
All
they're
amazing.
good.
But all amazing. It's hard to get through a lot of them because like that it is basically throwing a chemical reaction into your mouth and hoping not to burn your tongue eventually.
It's amazing.
I had some salt and vinegar chips. I forgot which ones they were.
But Utz is like the best. They will crack your lips and make you hurt from eating them. That and their garlic and onion chips, I'll fuck them up too.
Yeah. We don't have a huge selection of theirs, unfortunately. 7-Eleven has been putting out some very interesting chip flavors. Their hot dog one is really good. Like it tastes like a loaded
hot dog chip.
It tastes like a loaded hot dog. Like it's got the relish, onions, all kinds of shit. It tastes like a fucking hot dog.
You're starting to sound like Sean with his fucking pizza ice cream. No, fucking get
I would like to try the pizza ice cream, but I don't want to pay for it.
Nope.
I need to find somebody who has it so I can try it.
You couldn't pay me to eat that
So let me ask you this real quick, because Bluebell, it's funny because Bluebell will take suggestions from people on flavors. Mm-hmm. And I believe I think it was a little girl who put out a petition for a flavor and they actually made it. And it's strawberry lemonade flavored ice cream.
No, that's not an ice cream. That's a fucking Italian ice.
That would make sense if it was that, but they somehow made it into an ice cream. I have not tried it because they don't sell it in the small ones. They
I would not try it.
Hey, look, somebody from Washington, D.C. is calling me. Should I answer it?
They have one. Yeah, it's the president.
It's the FBI. Yeah. They were listening.
Hey, we heard you say NSA earlier.
We heard you talking about the 7 Days Project. We need you to stop right now. Okay.
Yeah. There's this brand. You can get it at Publix here. I don't know where you get it other places. It's called Luigi's Italian ice. You get them in the freezer section,
we're
little
talking
cups.
Italian ice. Okay.
Yeah, those I fucked those up, and I want to say they have like a strawberry limeade one. Man, I'll tear
probably
those up.
Like,
but not ice cream. That's gross. Ugh.
I don't know. I'd have to try
bubblegum ice cream. Barf.
I've had good bubblegum ice cream, but I had to have it.
No, you haven't.
I had to have it with other things, not by itself.
Yeah, you didn't have good bubblegum ice cream. You fooled yourself into thinking it was good bubblegum ice cream, but you did. No,
we need some big chew, some big chew ice cream.
Oh God, like the grape big chew.
Yeah, dude. What about See, the thing is, if we do snacks, we got to do like, are we gonna go with modern snacks? Or are we going with like all-time snacks? Because like we can go all the way back to what were they called? Not Fun Sticks or whatever they were called. Dippin' Sticks.
Pixie Sticks.
No, Dippin' Sticks.
Fun Dips.
Well, there was Fun Dip. I guess it might have been a combination of the two things, where you had like the big sugar,
the white stick,
and you dipped it into the flavors. Yeah. So I guess I was combining things. Yeah, there. So like that was the shit back in the day. And but like, okay, so we go with snacks as a kid, fucking normal, the fucking.
I'm gonna blow your minds on this one. Do y'all remember Kablooies?
We didn't have Kablooies here.
What? Those are ones I used to buy for like a nickel at the like the little bodega around the corner from me in Tampa. I used to go buy them for a nickel, and then I'd take them. I was in 7th grade, going to MB Young Junior High School.
Yeah.
And I would take them in and I'd sell them for 50 cents in the locker room, dude. I was making bank.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I buy those Warheads when they were first coming out.
Oh yeah.
The assorted box of Airheads, and if you can get the white one where it was the mystery flavor, we'd bet on what the flavor was, and then somebody would win like money out of the pot or free candy and shit.
I think what we should do is if we do in a top 5 on snacks, we need to set a boundary on what is candy and what is a snack.
That or what's old school and what are we getting now? I
say split it from like when we were young, because that was a different story, and then modern, and then if there's any crossovers. But I think candy, like very specific candy, have to be separate from snacks. Like you still have a sweet treat, but not straight up
like
candy.
A Little Debbie's is a sweet
That's not a candy. Yeah, exactly. That is a snack or sweet treat. So yeah, we'll do that.
Which, by the way, off subject, they have Little Debbie's ice creams now.
Yes, they're absurd.
The zebra cake one is fucking amazing.
Fuck zebra cakes. I know what you're doing.
No, actually I wasn't, but now that you brought it up, zebra cake's awesome.
No, zebra cakes can eat a dick. Cake.
You can eat a whole bag of dicks, Mr. Fudge Rounds.
No. Hey, fudge rounds are badass.
No, they're not. They're just bad.
No.
and taste like ass.
No, they're awesome. That's my second favorite
trash.
thing ever.
Trash.
No, you're full of dicks.
Trash.
You're full of
Trash.
dicks, and someone's gonna sneeze
You're
in you.
inferring your own period with all that chocolate.
I hope someone sneezes inside you. That's
I
our
might be
new
doing
that's
it
our
right
new
now.
podcast insult. I hope someone sneezes inside you.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll hold on to the real top fives until we can have the whole cast around.
Yeah, we'll have
It'll
Mike
be a lot
on
more
here
fun
and stuff. Yeah,
because his stuff's gonna be so different. It's worth it. So, and then we bring Sean in here. It'll
And
be top
watch, it'll
five
be all
snacks he can't
boring.
eat.
Man, it'd be all
here we go.
boring.
Here we go. Because Sean's gonna listen to this. Sean, in the comments, leave your top 5 snacks you won't eat anymore because you're a fat slob. All right.
Make sure you give us the list before you kill yourself because he called you a fat slob. No.
We love Sean. But we were
I
the
don't
other
love
day.
Sean. Sean won't even talk to me except for in group chat. I don't love Sean. I barely know
Dude,
Sean. Sean don't like me.
Sean messages me outside of the group chat because nobody's replying in the group chat. That's the only time he talks to me separately.
Sean was literally sitting at home last week while we were on the fucking podcast, shooting messages to the group message and wouldn't get on the podcast. Fuck Sean.
Exactly. That was so dumb. Hold on. What is this?
I hope you get a fat roll.
It's from the union. Okay. I'll look at that later.
But,
okay, so now we have questions.
I love to bust Sean's balls.
Yes, we all do. Did you ever answer his question the other day?
Itty bitty balls because all the steroids.
Did you ever get to answer the question he put forth from his significant other?
Yeah, I did answer, didn't I?
Okay, I don't know. I did. I didn't know if.
Yeah, because you piggybacked off mine. You said something about like his wife said the same thing mine said or some shit, or Mike did. Somebody, yeah. Okay,
maybe I didn't see it.
It was like
it's been a long fucking weekend, dude.
Yeah, I know. It's been crazy, man.
My brain is fried from the heat.
Yeah.
Okay.
It ain't no better, man. Like right now, I'm literally cutting the air off my arm while we're talking, just wiping it off.
Yeah.
I got 2 fans on me, and I'm still slippery all over my back porch, man. Fucking humidity.
Slip sliding out of his chair. He would be on the edge of his seat, but it's too slippery.
It's too slippery.
Okay, so he does have a deeper set
But first of all, those are
here.
good top 5s. We'll have to get into those some more, man.
Yes, we definitely will.
Those.
And guys, if you want to contact us via the email to send in suggestions and or comments or questions, you can do so at NowYouMadeItAwkwardMail@gmail.com, which is down in the description below, along with everything else, including my Shoky links, the Comic Relief Crusader links, and when I get around to it, Ricky's link to his new podcast.
2 whole fucking links, and this piece of shit still can't get it right.
No, I just forgot to put it in, and I told you I would.
Yeah,
I flat out told you I would forget to do it.
Motherfucker.
I was right. I forgot to do it. So I'll do it this week.
Hey, so what did you think of my first episode? Oh, yeah, you didn't watch it, but I sure as fuck watched your stupid reviews. But I don't watch your shit no
I got
more.
about 10 minutes into it, and then I had to go to sleep.
Yeah, motherfucker. I got you.
I started watching it at night. But I will tell you right now, because I've read ahead, there is a comment in this email about your podcast. So
Sweet.
I will get to it. All right. So okay, so he says, Shoky, you said you were the only one who never mind, I already replied to that. I specifically replied to that thing. He was asking me why I'm the only one who could upload and stuff. So I gave him the details on that. So either way.
Because he's a control freak.
No, it's because I'm the one who literally has access to everything. Let's see here. So going to an actual
control
question.
freak.
Yes. Is there anything you would suggest about to do starting a YouTube channel? Serious answers, please. I am thinking about starting one based around my hobbies.
The problem before we get into answering that question is, what is your premise? Is it just going to be you talking about your hobby? Is it going to be you and friends talking about a joint like of the same hobby? Like, what is your plans for it? Is it going to be you reviewing stuff from your hobbies? Like, you got to be more specific on like what you want to do, because that does change how you present it.
I think he answered that here, but the it's really jacked up sentence. I'm going to try to read this. So it says, in case you want to modeling, TCG, cooking, cars, fixing / racing, gardening, Warhammer 40K, and other things. Ricky, get your mind out of the sewer, except he didn't type that. I'm just inferring what he meant to type. And I the gut. What? Hold on. Let me read what he wrote.
Out of the gutter.
Hold on. Let me read what he wrote and see if you can decipher this. Ricky, get you my new out of the sewer and I the gutter. You too, Mike.
I'm thinking he's trying to say get your mind out of the sewer and the gutters.
Yeah, I think that's what he's trying to say, but like it seems like it was voice to
Yeah,
text.
he's probably quick typing it
So
or
I
voice to text.
think what he was saying is that's his hobbies, and
That's some really random shit.
it's a lot of broad topics. So
I would pick a lane. Like, are you going to be talking about nerd stuff? If you're going to go crazy and do all of it, then you have to be like Senor Shoky Butthead over here and have 55 different channels, one for each specific thing.
Yeah. So the hard part. So I'll just speak from my experience. So when I started, and he does have a comment here on that here in a little bit, and I'll answer that question. When I started, it was nerd-based stuff because our local Hastings shut down and they were selling everything. So I was buying like super cheap, like little nerd stuff, little knickknacks, blind bags, small figures, things like that. And then I also had the different figures and Transformers and then the Gundams. So I started doing all of those things at the beginning of my original Shoky channel. And then it got to a point that the Gundam stuff was really taking off and the action figure stuff was not. But I wanted to keep doing it. So I actually moved the action figure stuff to a second channel. This is also kind of in the vein of when the Kappa stuff happened. So I wanted to remove anything that was going to be seen as childlike, to move it to a channel that wouldn't remove any monetization because that channel's not monetized. And then I also, so speaking of multi-channel, so the second channel also is where my vlog is. So I have vlogs, like a couple of years of vlogs along with the action figures reviews and stuff like that. So like with all of your interests, I would group the interests that sort of go together, like the modeling, the 40K, what was the other thing? Just basically the nerd kind of stuff, trading card stuff.
Yeah, you could do one like around the house, which would include like working on your cars, cooking, stuff like
gardening,
that,
like you said, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you wanted a lifestyle channel, you could have a lifestyle channel that handles at least half of that. And lifestyle channels usually go pretty good because they can be like partially a vlog, partially hobby. Especially when it comes to cars.
Then you can talk about your nerd stuff and talk about your cars and kind of both things at the same time.
And then if you want to do the modeling stuff, I mean, like there's 1.5 billion channels now. Mine is so irrelevant. Like it's just like, it's one reason why I'm not doing a whole lot of the modeling stuff, but I'll talk about that more in a minute because he asked specifically. But like, for instance, my main channel now is mostly dedicated to big robots in one shape or form, whether that's Transformers, Gundams, other mechs, any kind of stuff around that. And then I move everything else to the secondary channel. And then when I started doing reactions, because I wanted some other type of content, but it didn't fit in at all. So I started the third channel for that, which is also why that channel is called It Doesn't Have to Make Sense, because it makes no sense compared to everything else I do. So like, I would say if you're going to create a channel about something, pick the thing that you're most invested in, that you can devote a lot of time and effort and information into, and focus on that, and then slowly trickle the other related things into it. But if
because like, if you're doing like models once every 6 months, you're not going to build a whole channel around that because you won't have any content to put up. But if you're working on cars every weekend, then that should be your main thing. And you work in other stuff around it when you need to fill holes and time and stuff.
The other way you could do it is you have a specific day for a specific topic. So you could have all the things on a single channel, but Mondays would be like modeling Mondays. Tuesdays would be TCG. Wednesdays would be work in the yard, and then you get to the weekends and you do your car stuff. So if you have specific, that's actually what I used to do when I had all that stuff. So I had Master Grade Monday. Tuesdays were unthemed, but usually Tuesdays were an unboxing video. If I didn't do it on
Transformers Tuesdays.
Yeah. Well, no, because Transformers are Thursdays. So I would do Transformer Thursdays, and then Tuesdays and Wednesdays would be either random, or Wednesdays would be an unboxing, and then the actual review would be on Friday. So, but that's when I was doing 5 to 6 days of content every single week.
God damn.
Dude,
I have that much fucking free time.
Dude, my job, I have a lot of free time. So like when the reason my channel blew up so fast, but then hit a plateau, is because I had 100 kits built already. So I was reviewing only stuff that I already had. And I was
Gotcha. So you
reviewing,
had a lot of content to put out.
yeah. And so like I could put out 3-day a week. I was at one point putting out 3-day a weeks just of Gundam content, mixing in Transformers and then other smaller stuff. And then I would do Sunday live streams, either in the morning or the evening. Saturday would be if I had any extra content. And then there were days where I was putting out two videos a day, three videos a day, just depending. You know, just because I had
This guy
so
does
much
not
shit.
believe in sandbagging anything, dude.
Yeah. It's like at that point I had to just get it out. But then like once I ran out of stuff and I was just buying new stuff, then it had to change. Either I had to build on an insane schedule, you know, like just literally cranking them out, which I've done before. So
That seems like it'd be less fun. I think the whole point is to enjoy yourself doing
exactly. And that's one reason, like to answer his later question here, he literally said that, you know, I've been doing a lot of Transformers and stuff like that, but I have not been doing any modeling. And there's two main reasons for this, and then I'll address the rest of the stuff you have here. So basically, I have no fun left in modeling right now. Like, I don't have a community around it. I don't have almost any of the friends that I built that community with, whether that was on my channel or in real life. So the Gundam group I was in, you know, I have videos about that if you watch long enough. You know, we got kicked out, banned, because the dude had a personal grudge against me and then never told anybody what he did. So I lost that group. We started a new group, which we did what we could. And then there was even another group that happened later, at least for meetup purposes. So I had people to hang out with, to do the hobby with. And I started this hobby, building Gundams and stuff like that, because I was totally alone. I had no one. You know, I'd just broken up, lost all my friends. I got out of the other hobby I was already doing and needed something to fill the
Now
time.
he has me and Mike, so fuck you, Gundam.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, I mean, for instance, for those who don't know, like I used to have or I guess for those in the know, I used to have the huge wall of Gundams behind me, all in Detolfs. I had 9 Detolfs full of Gundams.
God damn.
Yeah. And then now I have 4 Detolfs, and they're filled with the boxes full of Gundams. And then I have boxes everywhere else on top of the shelf. I haven't unpacked anything, and we've been here for a year. Because I don't know what I want to do with the collection. I don't know what I want to do with the building. Now, I have unfinished projects I do want to get back to. But because the community aspect was such a major part of doing it, once I lost that, you know, because once I lost, you know, all my friends on YouTube that I had in the community, like all things Gundam just sort of disappeared. It was just like, I don't have anybody to talk to about it. I don't have anybody to build with. I don't have anybody to discuss stuff with. And then if my previous contest was any indication, nobody gives a shit when I try. So even when it's for a good cause. I mean, there's very few people who cared, and they're like diehards. But even the people who said they were totally in, just
Speaking of which,
disappeared.
Jerry, when are we getting him back?
No clue. No clue.
We need you. I like that
Jerry's random, so we'll see. I wouldn't mind Jerry coming back on. We just have to figure out when and where we can squeeze him in. Now, I do still have a community around Transformers and figures and podcasting. So go figure. That's what I focus on. It's like,
I see what you did there. You had a community around figures. Go figure.
yeah, exactly. That was an interesting accidental pun. So, I mean, like, I'm in several action figure groups, mostly related around either Transformers or Power Rangers, which is the bulk of my stuff. But then there's all the NECA stuff that I'm interested in. Then I have the Realm of Collectors, which is just kind of all of the things. And then I've left most of the Gundam groups I was a part of, just because it's like it's all the same shit over and over, and then everybody's starting a new channel. Everybody starts a new channel. They get their 15 minutes of fame, they explode, and then they all plateau. You know, and then there's the few that
Gundam is not the one you want to start a channel about.
I would say no. Now 40K and modeling, other modeling kind of stuff like that is still niche, but there's a massive following there, and you will.
It's crazy to me that 40K is still considered that, because it's huge now in the nerd world.
Well, I mean, it's still niche within the nerd world, because like a lot of people do other miniatures, but not do 40K.
Because I mean, now they're putting out 6-inch action figures of 40K. Figures.
Yes, which is pretty cool, and they give you the blank ones so you can paint them yourself, which
It's
I considered
not cool
doing.
They're McFarlane, so fuck McFarlane. But
Yeah, but I mean,
still,
the fact they give you one that's basically primered and ready to go, and then you can customize it, that's cool. Because what other action figures do that? None.
McFarlane does that a lot.
Yes, now, but I mean, like,
He loves to give you those artist proofs,
and I'm okay with that because I considered
I'm
it.
not.
Like,
It's bad. Okay, like let's use Transformers because that's the easy one. You
Sure.
got the Seekers. You make one mold, you're getting bare minimal, the main 3 out of there. In reality, you can get 9 out of that motherfucker because hardcore Transformer fans want all 9 of them motherfuckers.
ask
but
New
at
Age
least-
about that.
But at least, and that 9 is the minimal. There's more past that.
Oh,
But
yeah.
9 is the main 9 because then you start getting into the Shattered Glass versions, the background characters that were made up names in the comics because they didn't have names in the cartoons.
The random
and all that
random color
shit.
schemes.
Yeah. So like the you can keep going, but there's 9 that are named and considered canon characters and stuff.
Yeah.
That people will go for, but there are very specifically different characters. Not only do they look different, they have different personalities.
Okay.
So reusing that mold to make those makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But when you do, like, literally McFarlane will put out a Batman,
Mm-hmm.
and then he'll put out a gray version of Batman.
See, I don't understand.
It's the same fucking Batman, so it's no
when
new
it comes-
continuity.
When it comes to those, I agree with you. That's stupid. When it's the 40K characters, it makes sense.
Like that Spawn Kickstarter. Who the fuck was going to color or paint their fucking artist-proof version? No fucking body.
Not after that much money.
Yeah.
If it was a $25,
but it was an artist proof of the one that you also got already done up.
Yeah,
it's Spawn. You can't do anything different to it. You're just gonna paint it to look like the other one that you already bought.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that.
So to me, that's just greed. That's literally milking a mold. It's not doing anything new or special to it. The 40K one, that makes sense because it's what are they, Spartans or whatever they call them in that shit.
Damn, if you hadn't said something,
I never played it, but you know what I'm talking about.
If you hadn't said it, I would have known. Yeah,
the Bloodhound Gang, whatever the fuck they are.
Blood Wolves. So whatever, you can make your own faction. It doesn't matter. But
yeah, so that you can paint them differently and give them different insignias and do stuff like that. So that makes sense to me.
And the fact that it's not a miniature, which is a pain in the ass and requires really small brushes and stuff or airbrushing. If it's a full size 6 or 7 inch figure, you can do it
still airbrush
better. More people have the access to be able to paint something that large rather than a miniature. Now I've seen some insanely well painted miniatures, but like I don't think I have the skills to do that. I could paint.
You still want to airbrush people even on a 6.
Oh, I agree, but I'm just saying
hand paint. I don't care how good you are. You're gonna.
Well, I mean, I rattle can 90% of what I do.
Really?
Yeah. Have you seen any of my Transformers?
But that like eats away the plastic, doesn't it?
Just depends.
Yeah. See.
No, it depends. Well,
if you use to fucking try.
Yeah, but if you use the right paints on the plastic, it's not going to do anything. I mean, if you specifically, Ricky, if you look at any of my custom Gundams or Transformer kits that I've done, not a single one is airbrush.
Really?
Every one of them is rattle can. Everything is rattle can. Yeah. Or hand paint or both.
Gotcha.
And you're right about it eating at the plastic, but it depends on if it's the fuck was that? Did you hear that?
No.
Oh, Demona fell over. That's what it is. Okay. I just reviewed Demona. I was like, what the fuck was that noise? I'm looking at my shelf because I've had a lot of Power Rangers.
Goliath finally choked a bitch.
Yeah, I just did the Demona review right before this. Which
still waiting for Big Bad Toy Store to tell me mine's in.
Dude, she's on the shelves at Targets. Like, I saw 9 of them. Yeah. No joke, I saw 9 of them.
I only have one Target in my area, and I know for a fact that there's at least 9 big-time collectors in my area because I've met all of them. Yeah. And 3 of them are YouTubers, so nothing sits on the shelves in my Target.
Fair point. Fair point. Yeah, BBTS should get her soon. If it's on stock at Target now, maybe a couple weeks. But either way, what I was getting at was like, on the larger scale, like anything that's 6 or 7 inches, it's fairly easy to do rattle can without having to do airbrush because a lot of people are intimidated by airbrush. Now, I will say I'm not done with modeling 100% because, like I said, I've got projects I want to do. Like I have an unfinished one. It's called a Tomotu, which is a little mech truck robot thing, and I want to do a version where it's like been abandoned in the desert for like 40 years, and it's all rusty and
So
broken.
rusted out and shit.
And I actually have a shell of a 54 Ford panel truck that I've already cut up and done custom shit to, with a busted frame that I tried to customize. So I think I'm going to have that like next to it. Like I want to build a whole diorama like in the desert with like a dead ass tree, you know, that's like half grown through the bed of the truck, that kind of stuff. So that's the kind of stuff I want to do. The other thing I want to do is, thanks to Bobby, I want to build dioramas for my action figures. So they're not just all standing on the shelf like idiots and they just fall over. And very specifically, and I showed this to Sean, so with my Ronin Warrior figures, and that's the Sentinel versions, I want to build a display.
Ronin Warriors?
Yeah, you've never seen Ronin Warriors? It was
What is it?
Well, I guess you're not familiar with anime, so yeah, that makes sense.
It sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah, so basically it's like Power Rangers from way back in, but it was animated. They all had color coded elemental armors that they would throw on. I've got pictures of them and stuff like that to probably jog your memory. But what I want to do with them, and I thought about this, so I want to build a dojo, like a proper like Japanese like Shinto style dojo diorama on the Billy shelf with like the wraparound paper walls and have them backlit, and then have it
paper walls.
Yeah, exactly, and have it segmented per warrior. And then like have
you can go cheaper than that. What is there's the fuck me running their pop-up dioramas that they have on.
No, I'm gonna make this from scratch. Don't worry about that.
What is that company?
Pop-up. It's pop-up something. I know what you're talking about.
No.
Well, there's a bunch of them. I know what you're talking about, but they're like the.
But yeah, they have a
backgrounds.
dojo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could use that as like a.
I've already got the image I want to base it off of. I mean, like, I'm no stranger to building things from scratch. Like my NECA Ninja Turtles weapons rack that I built from looking at an image of the one, because that's before you could buy it. So like I looked actually from what Anthony's Customs, his review had a clear image of it, so I screenshotted it, took measurements compared to my shredder that I had, and then just going by the image and everything else like that, I built a weapons rack from scratch from styrene, and it's only off by like an eighth of an inch measurement wise, because it's the parallax of the screen. So either way, so like I'm no stranger to it. So I mean, I want to do the walls probably in styrene, and then I'll do the floor out of foam just to make it softer, but have a segment for each of the 5 warriors with their logo, which each one has their own elemental logo. So each one would have it on the paper wall. And then the center one with Ryo would have the part that has more of the shrine that usually goes in the middle, like with the big arch and all that. And then up upon that shrine would be the Inferno armor, which is the one that is when all their powers combine to the Inferno armor. So like it would be each individual's warrior, and then above them all would be that. And then
that's pretty cool.
Eventually, we're all hoping they give us the bad guys, which are the warlords. You know, same gimmick, but you know, bad guys. Above that, I want to build a rooftop diorama, because a lot of times they fought on the tile roofs, all Japanese style. So on the shelf above that, I want to build the rooftop diorama and have the warlords.
Nice.
So that's my plan. Now, that really is dependent on what figures they give us, but that's the plan. But that's kind of like with the gargoyles. I want to have them all on top of my billies and build that out as a rooftop with the edge, so they're all standing at the edge of the rooftop.
So you want to build the clock tower?
Not even necessarily that, because it could even be the castle. So as long as it's a castle / stone edge above the billy, and they all have their pedestals to stand on.
But you should do the clock tower, because that way, if they keep coming out, if they come out with like Xanatos and his iron armor and all the other ones, you can build the castle for him.
Well, to be fair, I have a lot of billies to work on. So it's like I have a whole lot, not to mention on top of the Detolfs if I wanted to. I put a whole shelf above them and continue to wrap it around.
I'm kind of hoping they do, like, I don't understand. NECA's usually pretty good about not leaving money sitting on the table.
It's just
I don't understand
slow.
Why they're not putting out stone versions.
I don't know. That's usually the second thing they do is a cooler repaint. And the only thing they've done is Thalog and whoop-de-doo. I think most people aren't going to want him. If I'm being honest, I mean, people have bought it, obviously, but comparatively. Like, if I caught a Goliath or a Thalog on sale, I would buy it and give it a stone paint job. That's the way I look at it. Is like, because I kind of want the folded wing version for just standing around normal, and I want a stone version in like an attack mode with their wings out.
Yeah, like I want it. Like if they make the stone ones, I would definitely do the clock tower. Just have them all perched on the clock tower.
Yeah, but I mean, you can do the castle too. I mean, either way, it doesn't matter. Because the way
Nope.
I have mine, because I don't just have the Billies, I have the Besta in the middle, so it's a bump out. So
Right.
I can have Goliath there because his wingspan is almost as wide as the whole fucking Besta. And then have it kind of wrap around as it goes. But I have to get all the boxes off the top of the Billies. But either way, what I was getting at is like, at least with the dealing with my channel, is I want to show that process. So if I get away from specific modeling, I do want to get into diorama making and stuff like that. You know, do how-to videos and whatnot. Did you go back inside?
No, Kara brought me food.
Oh, okay. Oh, she's back.
Yeah. Oh, what was the thing you wanted me to ask her or tell her?
Or ask her if Amelia is the worst person on Grey's Anatomy.
He said to ask you, you can speak into the microphone, they'll hear you. Is Amelia the worst person on Grey's Anatomy?
Yes.
Good.
She said good, and he's laughing.
Yeah.
And
100%.
She said she's terrible.
Yeah, she's horrible.
Cute, but terrible.
Yeah, she's terrible. She's the worst person on that show. I just had to confirm.
Yeah. All right, so on to the next thing.
Okay. Yes.
We
Okay.
kind of
So
spun way off there for a little bit.
Well, the thing is, like his main question with what to do if I wanted to start a channel, it rolls into my experience with running channels. So I mean, and Mike is so new. I'm sure he would say a lot of the same things. Is like, pick a focus.
Boil it down to your specifics. Yep. Get a focus.
Pick a focus, build an audience, and introduce other stuff slowly, unless you build your whole channel around being a multifaceted channel. Because there's variety channels out there. But keep that variety for very specific days. You know, make it function and where it can work. But also give yourself the ability to do the work. Because
one thing Shoky doesn't do that I'm going to tell you to do is bank stuff. Because life's going to happen and there's going to be times where you can't
I used to.
Bank things.
No. I used to. Because I would get stuff done weeks in advance. And I'd just be sitting there releasing. And then I'd be focusing on the stuff that needs to come out when it comes out. No, believe me, I bank stuff. I don't just throw stuff out there, but right now I'm so behind. Like, I just finished the whole review series on the train bots, right? But I broke down the transformation and combination to individual videos to be released over the next week. So that's going to be covering while I'm recording all these other fucking reviews that I'm now getting caught up on because the train bots are out of my way. So I just filmed 2 reviews earlier because I decided to sleep all day instead of filming like I should have been doing. I do have more stuff coming, and yes, I get it. People want more, get away from the Transformer stuff. And believe me, I have more model kits on order. They just haven't come in yet. So it's like, I do have more Power Rangers kits. I do have other stuff ordered that I'm waiting on that just hasn't come. And I have Star Wars kits that I have not gotten to, including the Millennium Falcon. So like, those things have all just been on the back burner because, like, once again, I have to feel like doing that. And what I was going to get at earlier, and you mentioned this, is like, it's no fun if you're just forcing yourself to do it. So a couple of years ago, for Double October, which is my yearly event, that's a month-long event, I did, how many was it? I did 9 builds in 2 days just to get shit fast built, and then I had to review them, and then I built a perfect grade Gundam in 19 hours and reviewed it.
Is that impressive? I don't know what
perfect grade is. The big ones, like the really big ones that are fully articulated.
Are they hard to build, or are they like snapped together in 5 pieces? Like, I don't know if that's
the mega size are those. The mega size are the very simple big ones, but those are also the biggest ones. So mega size is 148 or 160. And then perfect grade is 160. Mega size is 148. Sorry, I gotta remember these things. But mega size is super simple. Like, it's like a barely posable statue, more or less. But perfect grade has like all the details, the water slides, the stickers, the light up effects, action base, everything. And you know, they're ridiculous. But the fact that I built one completely in 19 hours, and I mean, like, I did that in 14-hour stint and then a 5-hour stint. So I literally just sat down and just plowed through it. You know, that's
See, once it stops being a hobby and it starts being a job, it sounds less fun that way.
bingo. That's what happened. So the thing, like for Double October, because I have to plan a schedule around it, I can't build it out through the year. I have to like try. Usually I'll do it from like September, because obviously it's in October. So I'll take the month of September to get the work done. Once I have an order established, you know, if I have an order of the reviews or whatever it'll be, I plan it out in September. And then if there's anything I need to add, such as other people's builds, which is something I usually do, I usually have featured builds. So I have to plan around that, and those are usually the last minute things. But considering I don't think that's going to happen this year, at least not in person, nobody's going to be able to bring me and show off things they built. COVID just basically nuked all of that. So, but I started doing Discord ones where people could come into the Discord, submit their builds, their customs and stuff like that. And then I will go over them on Sundays throughout October. So, this year, because last year sucked and the year before that sucked due to COVID, like last year, we didn't even really consider it a double October, which is, by the way, it's all focused on Gundam 00 kits and related things. So for those who don't know, that's why it's double October. This year, we can actually do stuff. Last year, we called it double October Tau, which means fake or false. So like, because I couldn't really do shit, like basically it was like, okay, we're just going to rebrand it this year and then we'll come back next year with the proper number in the series. It's basically like a Star Wars movie that isn't part of the
I'm glad you
mainline.
explained that, because I thought you were making some kind of James Bond reference. And I was like, I don't fucking get that.
No. Although that's there, because some of the logos do look like that, but I'm not going to spoil anything. I do have a lot of kits already banked, as it were, like they're in the backlog, and I'm trying to get more, but it just comes down to when it becomes available so that I can plan out the release schedule so I can get to work on that. So whether or not I do any normal Gundam building is just kind of in the air, but I am still planning on doing Double October this year. I already have merch planned for it, everything, so it will happen. But
you have to wear the doof shirt for your 00.
No, I wear my Double October shirt for that. The doof only applies to this.
Wear a doof shirt.
No.
Make a 00 specific doof shirt.
No. Okay, so
00 doof.
one last bit of the email here from Jay. This is when he basically answered all that. Oh, also, I think, did he answer anything about the...
He said
okay, no. I thought he was asking about equipment. I thought he was asking about equipment specifically. No. By the way, guys, you can start a YouTube channel with just your cell phone.
Yep.
Everybody wants...
I'm literally on my cell phone right now talking to you guys.
So I get a lot of comments, or have gotten a lot of comments over the years. What do I use to film? I have always used my Samsung Galaxy phone. Always. Yep. I tried using a camera and I hated it. And then Samsung had the best cameras and the best sound. And then for whatever reason, I've had issues that either probably damage or clogged up speakers. But specifically my previous phone did damage one of the microphones. So like the sound was all jacked up. So then I tried using plug-in mics and they only worked for so long, and then they got screwed up. And then this new phone... This microphone that
you showed me, this Fifine, this thing's awesome. I use it on my phone, and when I'm in my room on the computer, I use it too.
Yeah, and it sounds fantastic. Because they've gotten so much better. But like right now, my phone, the microphone got wonky again. I guess just from dirt getting in it and stuff like that from work. So I bought the microphone that Ricky's talking about, and that's what I use plugged into my phone, because it's got a USB-C plug. And that's how I do my reviews. I just have a tripod. I have my review desk with my lights and all that kind of stuff, which was basically ripped from Bobby's old review set. And, you know, you can do a lot of these things. If you're not planning on doing reviews, then life gets a little easier. But you can still... There's so many things now for vlogging. You can go to Walmart and buy every bit of equipment you need to vlog for like, and you get it sent from Amazon.
Bucks. This microphone was like $50, sent straight to my house. Took 2 days.
Yeah. So like it
comes with a stand, and it comes with the plug that's on it. I can plug it into my phone. It has the, like you said, the USB-C.
Yeah.
But then it also has
USB.
Yeah. It has a normal USB, so I can plug it into my computer.
Yep.
And but the only negative about it is it draws power from your phone. So if you're doing video stuff, it will kill your phone faster. Like
In
When
this
we're on
case,
here
yeah.
just talking and bullshitting, we'll have the cameras on when we're talking. But once we start recording, we cut our cameras off because it drains my battery. It'll kill it so fast.
Just having the screen on the whole time with
Yep.
it lit up like that. But like I've always used my phone, and then like every now and then I've gotten like a little BS shotgun mic that will plug into the phone, so that like if I'm in the kitchen or something and I need to focus the audio, I'll do it that way. But I usually have the same problems. But you can buy almost everything you need at this point very simply. If you have a Walmart nearby, go to electronics. They have a whole section for content creators, whether that's ring lights, vlogging sticks, or tripods, microphones, any kind of microphone for that. Just depending. I just whacked my other microphone here.
And don't get a vlogging stick. That's like the selfie sticks. You
Well,
look like a fucking tool.
well, I'll tell you what, it helps. Like the vlogging stick with the tripod mount and the light thing on it is a big help in a lot of situations. It's annoying.
You're talking about the one that just lets you control it while it's on the tripod.
Well, no, I mean one that you hold. So if you're going to be vlogging, rather than trying to hold the phone or camera, which is hard, having the stick so that you can actually keep it, you know, on you, whether or not you're being like obnoxious and have it out several feet. You know, if
that's what I'm saying. Don't be that douche.
No, but I mean, like, it helps.
I go to Disney and Universal and see people those things. I want to slap them the fuck out of their hands.
Yeah, they work. They're good. They're good at what they do.
Yeah.
Now, if you're doing it for selfies, it's stupid. If you're doing it for vlogging, it completely makes sense. Because because it can be a steady cam too. It helps.
True.
Because I've done the vlogging just holding the camera, and it's really annoying because you also like you're very limited. You can't get far out enough, and you can only do so much with that. But also being able to have a Bluetooth remote for like switching the camera and stuff when it's on the stick, that's also an availability that you can have. So it's out there. You can do everything you need to do with basic bullshit. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars. Now, of course, if you spend thousands of dollars, you'll probably get return.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
like
I go out and buy the $10 box set of all this shit. It's probably not going to last very long.
And the thing is, once you build up a following, like, so I've got a minuscule following on 2 of my channels. Like my main channel is headed towards 10,000. Not that I get that many views, but I'm getting up towards 10,000 subscribers, which has been my main goal like forever. I mean, 10,000 subscribers over 7 years is not that good, but you know,
more subscribers than I got.
That's true. But like over here, of course, we only have 24 subscribers, which by the way, subscribe. But the other channels combined is only 1,000. What?
Real quick before you get past it, talking about people subscribing, you said there's a new person subscribing. I think I might know who it is.
Oh, yeah?
I'm gonna have to maybe kill my wife because on here
you don't
and
have
on
to.
I mean, I might have to, but on here and on my other podcast, the video one, like I don't hold back. Like I'm very unfiltered. I say what I want to say and I say how I feel.
Yeah.
And I don't think about. I'm not too worried about minding my P's and Q's.
Yeah.
Come to find out, she's got my in-laws, who, by the way, my father-in-law is a retired preacher. Got them listening to these things.
Oh shit.
And watching my videos.
Nice.
And while we went over there Sunday. Her aunt and uncle from Dallas were over here visiting.
Mm-hmm.
They showed it to her, so she's probably our new subscriber, Aunt Nancy. If you're hearing this, hey Aunt Nancy. Forgive me now and forgive me for everything you hear me ever say on here. It's going to be awkward a few times, but it is what it is.
I can't pull up the subscriber list at the moment. It doesn't let me do that on the phone or else I go tell you.
But she would be, it might show up as a Florida one because she probably signed up while she was here, but she's from Texas.
I can see the literal subscriber name.
Oh, their names? Well, I don't know what their freaking names are.
Yeah.
Like on there.
I just realized I have Facebook open and you close that. Because I didn't realize one of our episodes.
I forgot to tell you that when we were talking earlier.
Yeah. Well, I told my cousin that I have my other I have a million cousins. I told my younger cousin that I have all these channels and stuff. So it could be her. I don't know. I've mentioned the podcast, so it might be her.
I'm like, and I told Kara, I was like, why would you do that? Now I'm gonna be all nervous and stuff. Like, screw it. I'm still gonna be balls deep. I don't care. They'll
Speaking
just have to
of,
deal with it.
I didn't even pay attention to our views from last week. So what's funny is episode 17, the main episode has 18 views, which is slightly above average, but the Grey's Anatomy rant has 19 views.
Yeah. So Kara probably listened to that a few times.
A couple of those are mine. I'll tell you that right now. It does not show me. I'm just going through YouTube Studio real quick.
It's all right. So what else did he say in his thing?
Yeah, that's what I was going to read. Yeah, hold on, give me a second. At the end, he says, lastly, I watched Shoky and Mike's channels and Ricky's friend's ROC dumpster fire. That was
not very nice. It was literally our first episode, dude.
That was a little mean, but
fucked up, dude, but
funny.
cool.
I can
literally our first ever episode.
I'll laugh about it. That's fine.
Cool of you.
Give me a second here. I can look at our subscribers. It says, all I can say is Ricky got a face for podcasts, not live streams.
And he's funny too.
Yeah. All jokes aside, love you guys. Shoky. Okay, he's going back into the thing where he's asking why I'm not modeling. And then he says, I hope you guys make it to 50 episodes. Well, I hope we make it past that, but okay.
Shit, we're running that 50 episodes really fast, man.
Yeah, I mean, we're already.
I swear, it just seems like I just got on there with you guys, and that was on what, episode 3, 4?
Yeah. Let's see here. I'm trying to see all of our. Why is it only showing me 6 of our subscribers?
By the way, I'm gonna tell everybody that you fucking loved our show and you think it's the best show ever. Fucking asshole. Call it dumpster fire.
I agree. Okay, so I can't see, for whatever reason, I can't see all of our. Oh, it's showing me a subscriber count. That's weird.
We don't care about that. We do all that shit
at the back end. I gotta look at the back end. Okay, so it shows our
so to speak.
It shows our most recent subscriber is from May 29th, so that's not the newest one. So the thing is, whenever you subscribe to a channel, if you don't have it set to where your subscriptions are public, the person you subscribe to won't be able to see that you're subscribed. Like, the number will change, but it won't identify you as a subscriber. So cool. That's just back end kind of stuff that most people don't even know about.
We're podding now, man.
We're definitely podding now. Is wifey on her way home? She is on her way home. Okay.
Mine just fed me. Mine's better.
Well, that's fine. We got food. We got free food from the barbecue yesterday. We got to come home with the pulled pork, beans, chili, and queso dip.
Because I'm going to bed like it literally as soon as we get done recording. I'm going straight to bed because I got to get up at 3 o'clock.
We're only at an hour and a half.
I know it doesn't feel like we've been going for a long time.
No, we haven't.
Done, I'm going straight to bed. I got like 3 hours of sleep last night. And I'm dead on my feet, and I got to get up at 3 again.
Yeah.
So she's like, I'm gonna make you something to feed you right now. I'm like, I'll be recording, but I'll mute them. That's why I was quiet for that little stretch while you were talking. I figured. Was just chowing down real fast. You know, she made me. One of my I love breakfast for dinner, so she made me bacon and eggs and toast. So I just make like little Sammies out of them. And
Brenner is awesome.
Yep.
Not to be confused with Brenner from Stranger Things.
Fucking weirdo.
Which would be a segue.
Sit on that again.
Which would be a segue if Mike was here.
Hey, y'all, that's a wasted segue.
Yeah. So for those who want teasers, for those who want teasers, we were supposed to have the Stranger Things 4 finale conversation, and we all saw Thor 4 more Thors. Thor 4 more Thors. Which is true. There were a lot of Thors in this movie. Technically speaking. Well, there was a bunch at the end, weren't there? So I actually
count as a quarter each, so they add up to about 3 more.
So it was not a Thor.
Yeah, it's just a t.
Yeah, it's just a t. It's either a t.
It's like playing horse and you're stuck on hoe.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna get stuck on a hoe. Let's see. What else should we just accomplish real quick? Just run through our weeks real quick since we're here.
Sure.
Not a whole lot on this end other than being really fucking hot. I read through volumes 3 and 4 of Transformers.
Nice.
So this last one had all the stuff with the Dinobots and Drift in it. So it's been my favorite one so far. And I did order
one where they find them and there was like a 6th Dinobot and all that shit.
No. This is where they've uncovered them and they're trying to control them. And then
they talk about there was like a 6th Dinobot that was with them too, the one that got them buried or whatever, right?
No, what happened in the story was they were chasing Shockwave to Earth because Shockwave was.
Okay, different one.
Yeah,
I'm talking about when they're still on Cybertron buried. Okay,
yeah. So no, this is
ones.
Yeah, no, this is here.
Okay, I got you.
The whole Machination storyline basically just came to an end. That's where Scorponok had created headmasters on Earth and kidnapped Sunstreaker and created a million Sunstreaker clones, turning humans into headmasters for fake Transformers. which
Yep.
is a crazy fucking story. I'm not gonna lie, but then at the same
like
time,
that one getting ripped apart or whatever. Like,
yeah,
ugh.
exactly. And then like, it's interesting to have so many other Transformers characters that you're used to at different parts of the series, like just of here, like Hot Rod, is Trax is around, like all these people who
Mhm.
showed up way later, and like you see some of them die and then they get, I guess, resurrected or at least brought back.
They get resurrected. They're not a fucking race. We've had this conversation about robots. They get
They are a
rebuilt.
race. You're talking about droids are not
They,
a race.
nah,
Cybertronians are a race. They have
nah.
souls. They're called sparks.
Shut the fuck. I want to spark you.
I hope not. But either way, it's very interesting. Although this last section, there was a couple, you could tell where they skipped in between issues,
Mhm.
because like all of a sudden they just jumped to another story.
Yeah.
But like the Transformers Devastation was a great run. The whole thing with Nemesis slash oh god, I almost said not Solus Prime.
Scourge.
No, it's the other
Scourge.
Prime. No, it's the other Prime that disappeared early on. Nova Prime.
Oh,
So Nova
Nova
Prime
Prime.
became
Yeah.
Nova Prime ended with Galvatron and Cyclonus and all these people. I love how they make them ancient Cybertronians, not
Mm.
redos later. So that's funny how they bring them
Oh
back.
well.
They come
Wait
back
till
from
you
the
keep
dead
reading.
universe. They try.
Yeah,
It
the
wrapped
dead
up too
universe, yeah.
fast. That story wrapped up so
It's
fast.
not over.
Okay,
Not over.
so it wrapped up so quickly, at least what happened, but then they jumped right past it. So if they're gonna do more, cool. I mean, I ordered the 5th one from Amazon, but this one is taking forever. I guess it's coming from a different place. As far as I know, it hasn't even shipped. So I might have to look at it, might refund it and get one that's closer because I want to read more.
Read them digitally. You could still buy them.
No, I like the physical media in my hands,
Mhm.
because then I don't have to be on my phone more than I already
In your
am.
Hans Gruber. I don't have it in. I don't put it in my phone. I put it in my tablet.
I don't have a
My
tablet.
tablet. I literally only use my tablet for reading comics
But
and books.
I don't have a tablet.
Get a Kindle, you piece of shit. You're on Amazon all the time. Just order a
Why?
Kindle.
Why buy another electronic device to read a thing that I can have a physical book for?
Oh, lame. Because you don't want to take a physical book into the bathroom and get shit particles on it. You can
Why
take the
not?
electronic in there.
Why
That's
not?
gross.
It's my book. It's been
Man, I
flagged.
got my Kindle like in an OtterBox
It's been
thing,
flagged.
so like it gets cleaned every once in a while.
That's true. Watching. What have we been watching? Oh, I've been watching Clone Wars. So I started Clone
You
Wars.
restarted it?
I'd never really watched it.
Yeah, that's right. We talked about that.
Yeah, so I started Clone Wars way back when, and I know events throughout the series, but I never
Did you watch the movie first or skip straight to the series?
I skipped straight to the series. I did watch the movie, so I saw the whole introduction of Ahsoka and all that nonsense.
Yeah, but the show really picks up about season.
Dude, I watched
2
the
or
animated one first, like way back when.
Like, the old school one,
the one
with,
that
like,
sort of set shit
Grievous?
up. Yeah, so the one that really set
Grievous.
shit up, the like Samurai Jack almost looking series, which was cool in its own right. Don't get me wrong.
Yep,
that version of Mace
Grievous
Windu was
storyline
badass.
was cool, man.
Oh yeah,
Grievous was a badass in that motherfucker too, dude. When he killed all them Jedi.
Yeah, and that's when they brought in Ventress originally, because I remember her introduction episode where like they're like in like a jungle planet or something, and Dooku's right there, and then she like does these kind of flips and all kinds of shit, and then she pulls her lightsabers up across her chest, and she's like, "I am Sith," and he's like, "No, not really." He's like talks shit at her. It's like, you can be Sith, but you're not Sith.
I want to say they redo those in the Clone Wars. Like they take those stories and redo them with like the Clone Wars.
Haven't seen them
animation stuff.
Well, at this point, all of that has happened before. So like, Ventress has already come up. Like so they went from there. And like even in season 1, they're like, all this shit is established. Like it was
a prologue or something.
Yeah, all this shit is established. It's cool. We're good.
Okay.
So like, I watched through the whole thing where they had the weird
Clone Wars
ion cannon.
Itself. The Clone Wars itself, like halfway through season 2 and beginning of season 3 is where it really starts picking up, and you're like, oh shit.
Season 1 is
they get into their
plotting. It's like just like, oh god, it's super episodic, and I get it. It should be. Yeah. And I like how like shit happens off screen. Like that's what's really good. They're like, well, all this happened over here. I was like, well, I didn't get to watch that.
I like the Barker like over talker.
Oh, I do.
I know a lot of people didn't like that. I like that shit.
No, it's fun. I do know, like I know how it ends. Obviously, like I've seen the.
You watched the last season?
No, I watched the last episode. like the whole final episode with Ahsoka and all that. So I'm very aware.
You
of
watched
how
that
it
one
ends.
with Rex and all of them?
Yes.
Okay, that's not how it all ends though, because that actual last season is broke up into 3 main stories. That's just one of them.
Well, no, but I saw that. So like, I mean,
Yeah.
I know how it all ends in general, because like I wanted to know more about it, like because
You know how
other
that
stuff.
part ends.
Well,
Other
no,
shit ends
no, I mean I know the
differently.
other stuff, but I specifically referenced that because I have the artwork in the hallway of Ahsoka
Yeah,
standing
that's
there.
beautiful with the helmets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got that. Let's see, what else have we been watching? Shit, what else? Obviously, we watched The Boys finale.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we could talk about The Boys finale if we just real quick if we want to.
Eh.
After you do your week, we don't have to go like ridiculous. We can talk about this as a whole.
That was my response to it. Eh.
Oh, shut up! It was good.
No, but I'm saying it suffers from the same thing that the first 2 seasons suffered from.
What?
It's this huge build up, and then the last episode it just falls off a cliff. Like it's
I don't
like
think it fell off a
very
cliff.
anticlimactic. Yes, it is, dude. All that build up of Soldier Boy and all that shit, and that's how. No, come on, man. That was very anticlimactic.
Well, given the changes they're having to make now,
I don't care about the changes they're
well,
making.
no, but I'm saying the reason
I
why.
haven't read them.
No, but I'm saying the reason why it would be anticlimactic based on what you're watching is because of the changes.
No,
so like,
no, that's not true because they choose when the show ends and doesn't end. They could have done another episode where it ended on a big note instead of some bullshit.
Well, look at it this way: the fight between Maeve and Homelander, she was supposed to die.
Mm-hmm.
He was supposed to rip her to fucking pieces,
and
they didn't. They gave her an out.
Nope. Yep, they gave her an out, which is fine.
And it's fine. That's good.
That's closure to her story. I'm talking about
it is, but I'm saying like a lot of the anticlimactic
kid.
Yeah, but the anticlimactic nature comes from a lot of changes because in the comic books his kid doesn't exist. Homelander doesn't have a kid. That's new.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, and I think
like I said, they do that in shows all the time because they're trying to tie it in emotionally. Hold on one second. My dogs are barking like idiots.
Yeah, deal with the dogs.
Yeah, Kara's walking them, so they're just barking at the neighbors and shit. She's getting them by.
No biggie.
But
what I was getting, okay,
Luna,
so
shut up.
Well, so for instance, like the fact that his son is a part of the issues with him and Butcher changes how this goes, and having him choose between his quote unquote dads was actually part of the plot point. And then of course we'll set up next season with however they're going to wrap up Homelander's story.
I still can't quite nail down what the fuck Starlight's power is supposed to be. She flashes them with light.
She absorbs energy and then turns it into energy slash
kinetic
energy slash light pulse. So she shoots light, but she actually can make it like a focused blast. So like the more electricity.
It looked weird. Like she would just shine a light and people would go flying across the room. I was like, what the fuck is she supposed to be doing?
It's like a repulsor ray from my Iron Man. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But she has to have an external power source. So like the fact that she's never bothered, especially being at Vought, never bothered to develop an energy
backpack.
Yeah, so she can be anywhere, like even if she's in the dark. So that's one thing I didn't catch in this episode. Remember when they locked him in the vault?
Cranking up the energy. Oh yeah, well he turned the light off.
They turned the lights off. And I was like, why did you turn the power off? And I forgot, duh. He knows Starlight's power, so he left them in the dark so they couldn't happen. He took their phone, so even she could draw power from a phone screen if she needed to. But they eventually just
she only had her power, and then they used their phones. Remember, because they were using their phones for light for her to see.
Okay, well that's also to give her
so much power from them. Yeah.
So they had to brute force their way out through the door with the 2 soups they had, and they eventually did. But like, I
think having the kid in it is a tie for the audience, kind of like how they kept Judith around in the Walking Dead.
I kind of agree, but apparently, because Noir is dead now. His storyline
sucks balls.
His storyline being so radically changed means that the son might be more important.
Okay, so you said there was some big thing of who Noir was in the comics. Well, that is different. Tell me. What was the big thing in the comics about Noir?
I'll put it this way, because it's not.
He's a different character than what they showed.
He's a different character, completely. And he is responsible for killing Homelander in the comics.
Okay.
But I won't tell you how and why.
That I know?
Yes.
Like, is he like a character that's in the show? So it's like Huey dressed up or some shit?
It's not Huey for obvious reasons. It couldn't be.
I'm just saying.
But yes,
it's something like that.
It is an established character, but they changed.
Just who, motherfucker? We're past it. He's dead. So who is it?
Well, the reason I'm not going to tell you is because it could still go that way in a different manner. That's why I'm not telling you that. So
Kenny's dead.
No, I mean, Noir can't be a different character, but the result of the character he was in the comics can still happen.
Oh well, that can still happen if I know who it is.
Fine, if you really want to know. Everyone else,
Who were the Norse?
I will bleep it for everyone else who doesn't want to know. So I'll bleep it in the edit. I'll bleep it in the edit.
It's a 20-year-old comic. We've had this conversation.
Okay. It's not 20s. It's not 20 years old.
Yeah, I remember you looked it up.
2010.
It was like
10.
Was it 2010? I thought it was like 2002 or some shit.
No,
Whatever.
You're the one who thought of it. Okay.
It wasn't last week.
So either way, Black Noir. And he kills him after things happen that'll be happening next season. That's why I'm not going to spoil them. So we'll see what happens there. So, but
I loved Black Noir. I mean,
but he never did anything other than kill people randomly and be crazy.
Yeah, I know, which I always thought was kind of cool. That he was just kind of in the background, like shit would be happening in the foreground, and if you just look behind it all, he was back there doing some goofy shit. But that last episode with the Chuck E. Cheese shit and all that made me fucking love that character. And then boom, this episode, I was like, fuck all you guys for doing.
I knew he was going to do it because he hates betrayal. He would have done it anyways. Yeah. But I'll tell you this. Something that is different from the comics, which is the reason they changed this, giving Homelander X-ray vision. So in the comics, he couldn't know who Noir was. But in this, he clearly stated, I can see your fucked up face.
Yeah, like he says
if So
that's lame.
Yeah,
but Noir was awesome, and they made him really cool. And I was like, "Oh, that's crazy! We're going to see some more of that."
And remember how he literally had the thing where he's sharpening the sword. He's like, "Dude, you can sharpen that thing for 1,000 years; it'll never be sharp enough to cut his skin." And it's like,
yep, and he didn't stop.
Nope, he kept going. For all the good it did him, because he never got to use it, you know.
Yeah.
But I like that Soldier Boy is still technically in the game. I think what they're planning on doing is potentially figuring out how his radiation works to eliminate V, and maybe formulating a weapon instead of actually letting him loose again, because clearly they're not going to do that. But the fact that they didn't have the balls to kill him or Maeve, despite the massive
which means
explosion,
he's getting back out again. He's getting back out.
Should, but he'll probably be killed by somebody. Because I guess he's in that.
Maybe Homelander just go over and zap him in his little cage.
I mean, he tried to earlier, so I don't know. We'll see. But I mean, like the CIA has him now, so who knows what they'll do. But Jensen Ackles, I think, is signed on for season 4, so he will be back. And they have announced season 4.
Yeah, but Qui-Gon, but fucking what's his face was signed on for Obi-Wan Kenobi for Qui-Gon. He was in the last 30 seconds, so being signed on don't.
Yeah, but I mean, like, but it means that he's at some point coming back, or at least going to be on screen. So
he can literally be on screen inside his little bacta tank, and Homelander
do it.
Zap
it's fine. Oh, did I ever tell you?
And kill him. And
so, you know, because a lot of these guys, especially anybody who works with Eric Kripke, you know, the guy who's created the show, and he was one of the main creators of Supernatural for, I think, at least the first 5 seasons. Everybody gets very jokey behind the scenes, and because he has an established relationship with Jensen Ackles, they told him that he needed to be in superhero shape for the show. So after he already landed the gig, right? So he works out like hardcore for 2 months, gets like really jacked. I mean, you've seen him with a shirt off in the show. Like, that's real. Like Jensen's already in decent shape, but like he got jacked for this. And he shows up on set, like to get everything rolling. And then the guy who plays Homelander, he's like, dude, they literally could have just put muscles in the suit. So he fucked with him on purpose to make him work his ass off prior to getting on the show. And then finds out, like, because Anthony Starr, the guy who plays Homelander, isn't built. He's fit, but he's not built. Yeah, he's kind of a skinny dude. Also, he looks really weird without the blonde hair and with a beard, which is how he currently looks. So like, it's only around the eyes and nose. You're like, is that Homelander? So that was funny because he talked about that, and also he talked about the Hero-gasm scene that he avoided because he was they were trying to figure out who was going to take the giant load in the face, and he's like, not me, motherfucker. So it's pretty cool. Like, I'm glad that he's doing other stuff. Like, of course, he's been around for DC. You know, he's played Red Hood or Batman, depending on the animated movie and stuff like that. It'd be cool to see him in a future DC project in live action.
Maybe have him be Red Hood in live action.
Yeah, but it would have to be like, because he's in his 40s now. Like, he's in his young. I think he might just.
What's
be
your
40.
point? Tom Cruise is jumping off of buildings, and that bitch.
Yeah, but he's not going to go up
so.
against Robert Pattinson. You can't have a 40-year-old dude. acting next to who's supposed to be a 20-year-old dude.
Why not?
Because he doesn't look 20. And Jason Todd can't be older than Bruce.
They can do all kinds of... Dude, man, they had motherfucking Grand Moff Tarkin in a movie 20 years after he died, so they can do whatever the fuck they want to.
Yeah, and we saw how bad that looked.
Yeah, I know, but that was a complete CGI character. They de-age people. It's already getting better.
Yeah,
de-aging now looks way better than it did just 2 years ago.
True. I think they're... I just saw a preview for some new movie. I forgot what it was, but Robert De Niro's in it. And I was like, I think they de-aged him a little bit in it. Like, it's like, I think De Niro looks like shit. Like, it looks so much like shit at his current age.
De Niro looks like a wet sack of paper.
Yeah, so they're like digitally de-aging him.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have to be younger. He just has to be less wrinkly. What the fuck was that movie? There was a lot of previews when we went to go see Thor. And I don't remember most of them because I was so focused on
the only one I even paid attention to was Black Adam.
Yeah, I'd already seen that. I
hadn't seen any of them. I've avoided them.
Yeah, that movie's gonna be trash. Either way, so I think that's a perfectly good spot to go ahead and stop. No segue, but we've gone for 2.5 hours, so it's pretty good. You need to go to bed, and I need to go feed my wife, apparently. And Mike, on the other hand, can go to
Shoky.
Mike didn't show up for the fucking podcast, even though he said he had time.
We'll forgive you only because you're out making money to support your family.
I mean, there's that, and then the nonsense. I'm sure he would talk about it, but I understand to a degree why somebody would just want to do that. But it's very shitty to treat your tenants that way. But either way, I'm sure he would have brought that up in his week at some point. So I'll probably bring it up next week.
We're not just shitty people here in America. They're in Canada too.
There's plenty. They're shitty everywhere. Let's be honest here.
Well, there's not plenty of people in Canada. There's only like 10 people live in Canada. Who the fuck wants to live in Canada?
And they all live near the border. Oh, apparently
they only live in Alberta.
Who wants to
live? They only live in Alberta.
Who wants to live in Canada? All the celebrities who said that they would move when certain things happened, and then never did.
Yeah, and they never did.
Y'all can go. Whoopi, get your ass out. Go ahead. Fucking. What's her face? Miley Cyrus. You can go ahead and go. There's a laundry list. I'm just starting with the most annoying ones. Joy Behar, please take everybody on The View. Just take everyone on The View. Send them to Canada. Let them be Canada's problem. I'll just be honest there. All right, guys. Well, we're ending on a really strange note, but either way, thanks for listening.
That was fun.
Once again, if you have comments or anything else like that, you can leave it below on the YouTube. If you're listening on any other things like Podbean or something like that, give us a rating. Please hit the follow button or subscribe, whatever it is on whatever you're listening to, so that we can see it. And if you are listening on any other type of thing like Google Podcasts or Apple Podcasts, something like that, please write in to the email, because I want to know where you're listening from, because the Podbean statistics have like majorly shifted and I don't know why. So I want to know, and if you're listening from another country, also let me know, because not Canada, because we know our very few Canadian listeners, but like outside of the US or North America, just let us know. Write into NowYouMadeItAwkwardMail@gmail.com, which is linked down below, so you can just copy and paste it. You don't have to try to remember that or type it out. And just let us know where you're listening from. And if you have any questions and stuff like that, like Jay did for the bulk of the podcast earlier on, by all means.
That was fun.
And we do have top fives. We'll have top fives to do next time. Along with, once again, following up on conversations. So if we catch Mike on a day where he can talk this week, where we're also available, maybe we can get in the Stranger Things conversation and do it as a separate thing. We'll see what happens, depending on schedule. Also, thanks for any suggestions and stuff like that as well. We do appreciate everyone who does play along, comments, includes their own thoughts, whether they agree with us or not. We do want to know what you think. So,
and if you disagree with us, you're wrong, but it's okay.
Well, I don't know. I won't say that.
I will.
Unless you're Mike.
But he's always wrong.
He's always wrong. Oh, the Thor discussion is going to be great. It's going to be so great.
My God. He hates it. I'm calling it now. He hates it. There's a woman of power in it that has to save a man. He hates it.
I'll say he hates it just because of how far out of canon it is.
I don't know. That mighty Thor, they followed that shit almost to a T, but they just sped up the whole process, because instead of lasting a year or two in comics, they just put it all in one movie.
Yes, and I have a review that I'll be editing tomorrow and putting up at some point this week on the main Shoky channel. So if you want to follow the Shoky stuff, you can do that. It's all linked down below. I do have movie reviews, not many, but I have some up there. It was before the podcast, so I didn't have anybody to talk movies with. Go ahead.
I want to say one thing about Thor before we get out of here.
Sure.
This movie has officially made canon of Batman being the best thing in the MCU.
No, it's made canon that the best Joker is a Batman.
What?
That whole scene,
No.
when he's talking to the kids in the cage, that is 100%
Oh yeah, that shit was
the
creepy.
Joker.
No, but
that
I'm
is
just
the
saying,
Joker.
Christian Bale was
Yeah.
awesome in this movie. He was the best part of this movie,
Yeah.
and of course, he's the best
I agree.
live action Batman. So
I think that
Batman's the
Christian
best part of
Bale
MCU.
needs to come back in another
So I
DC
read that
movie.
somewhere or saw a video somewhere where they're like they wish that they could rewind time and
Yeah.
not have him be Batman, have him be Joker because of how
Dude,
much of a method actor he is. He would've
Forget
been
that.
next
Let him do it
level.
now. Don't rewind anything. Just have him do it now in another universe.
Well, that'd be
He'd
cool.
be a really good Joker, and he proved it in
They
this
could do
movie.
the 3 Jokers and have Joaquin Phoenix, him, and somebody else be the third Joker. That'd be
Joaquin
pretty cool.
Phoenix.
Yeah, I don't like to say his name right.
Either way, Joaquin. Also,
Joaquin,
if you want to follow Mike on anything, you can. But because he's not here, fuck him.
You don't have to buy any of his merch.
Don't buy
Go
any of his
our
merch this week because he's not here this week, and we're blaming him entirely because he said he could. But his links are down below for the Comic Relief Crusader and the freelance graphics with a K. Link
You
for
choose
his
where the
much
K
more.
goes.
You can decide where the K goes if you really want to. And actually, if you do that, it'd be great because it forces him to buy all the URLs with the K in different places, all different K locations. So he has to buy the URL. So no matter how you do it, you get to his website. And then of course, Rikki over here, who does the promos for Nerd Rage Radio on Facebook. We have a link to that. And I guess we now have to link to his new podcast over on the Realm of Collectors channel.
Friday nights, 9 to 10:30, the Realm Hatton Project. Me and a few other guys get together and do stuff and talk.
And one of these days I might watch the first episode.
And until he does, I'm not watching any more of his bullshit videos, and you guys don't need to either.
Well, they already do. That's why they're here.
God damn it.
Okay, guys. So that's going to be it for episode 18, and we will see you hopefully next week with something.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats.